In today's video, we're going to talk about direct marketing and internet fulfillment and how it plays a very important role in business in the 21st century.
So welcome to Profile 3 TV, and today we're going to talk about all things marketing, online and traditional marketing, with Desy from DM Services. So thank you very much for coming in.
No worries, thank you for having me.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and your background.
I'm 51 years of age. I'm the father of 3 daughters, 22, 20 and 13. Very proud. 2 at university and 1 still at college. So yeah, I mean, that keeps you busy and keeps you under pressure. But yeah, I suppose I started my business career off as in the civil service. Left school after college, went and got myself a job in the civil service. Wasn't really for me. Lasted about a year in there. Then I got the opportunity to go to Royal Mail, and basically, I suppose like my business career, I went in at the bottom. I was in at the postman. Spent 3 years working as a postman and inside and outside in the cold and the rain and whatever, and then managed to find out where the easy jobs maybe were and moved up into the offices. So I moved up into, I actually became a wages clerk, and I did that for about 3 years or so, and then managed to find my way to where I knew my calling was, which was sales. Found my way into the sales department and spent some time in there, and then after a period of about 2 years became a sales executive, basically proactively selling Royal Mail products and services, and sort of developed myself as a bit of a boffin of Royal Mail products and services, where I knew them all inside out. Then I moved out to spend some time on the road, travelling around businesses and looking after portfolios of Royal Mail customers. And that sort of evolved and kept evolving. I think I class myself as I'm a dynamic sort of person. And very quickly, sort of after about 2 years, my boss at the time asked me would I get involved in business development. Went for the job, got the job, and I ended up as business development manager for Ireland. So I spent quite a bit of time, about 40% of my time in the south of Ireland, ranging from Shannon to Cork to Galway to Lewisburg and the west coast. I spent a lot of time in Dublin as well. So did that for several years and enjoyed my time there. Royal Mail was a great education, great for courses and programs and stuff. And there I actually did a diploma in Institute of Direct Marketing as well. So Royal Mail was great for me, but I got itchy feet. I always had an idea of wanting to do something myself. And at the time, Royal Mail were going through their big restructuring, and they were losing money at the time, and they put a generic letter out to everybody, were they interested in leaving the business. They made it very, very attractive at the time, and I seen it as an opportunity to get out and jump now before I got institutionalised and go and do what my passion was to do something myself. So I jumped ship and I invested the money that I got in a mailing house. It was a fully automated mailing house, starting off from ground zero. Got a little warehouse over in West Belfast and Kennedy Way, very small. Bought some equipment, a couple of staff that were leaving Royal Mail at the time, asked them what they were doing, brought them along with me, and so I had a bit of continuity and a wee bit of stability of people who knew the industry. Brought 1 or 2 people in, a member of the family came to work for me as well. So we started off with a team of about 6 or 8, and my sales was the one that went out. Basically, we had no customers on day one, so I had the promise of 1 or 2 customers, went hunting them down. As those things happen, 50% come with you, 50% was don't, and we went on the search for customers, and thankfully we're competitive starting off. We developed a reputation of being quite efficient, quite flexible with their clients. We like treat our clients with a lot of respect and remember that they are our customers and they're our lifeblood. So we rapidly built up a very good portfolio of customers. Then a big break for us was we got the opportunity to go for some tenders, and along my ways I was heavily involved in networking, and we're involved in BNI and Chamber of Commerce at the time, and was networking everywhere. And I met a guy who specialised in writing tenders, and he helped us write our first tender, which was for the Livestock and Meat Commission, which was for a lot of money. So fortunately we won it. It gave us some stabilised as to where we could build on. And over the series of from 2002 right through 2007, we were increasing 20-30% year on year, going really, really well. We had to move premises after in 2004 because we were just outgrown where we were. We moved down to Boucher Road, had a fairly large unit in Boucher Road, and then we ended up bringing on some of the newspapers. Remember the days where you got free CDs and free books and free DVDs and in your newspaper? We were the ones that polywrapped those to the magazines for the Daily Mirror, Sunday People, and Sunday Life. So we got the stage where that was a huge chunk of our market, but we knew that was life limited. The minute the market strategies changed with the papers, it was going to change. So that was fine. We continued to grow 2007. Unfortunately, like a lot of businesses in 2008, we specialised in having a lot of public sector contracts, and a lot of those after the financial crisis, a lot of public sector lost their revenues or their incomes from government and had less to spend on communication and marketing. So a lot of public sector companies then had to pull back the marketing. Mailings took a drastic nosedive through 08 and in the 09. We had stabilised and where we were after taking a bit of a knock, and that was fine. But in 2010, I was approached by a few companies about the business, and obviously the other companies were looking to consolidate as well, and I sort of weighed it all up, and we subsequently moved to larger premises again, and it was nearly became a case of, what do we do here? There's a crossroads here, and I made the decision to speak to these people, and I ended up selling to a Dublin company in 2010. Probably if it had sold in 2007 when I started getting these knocks at the door, it would have been a lot better, but it is what it is, and I've no regrets. So 2010, sold the business and stayed on in the business for a year, and I had planned to change what I did from a business point of view, and I had an opportunity to become a bit of a direct marketing consultant for several companies. So I set myself up, small office as a business consultant for these guys. The problem was 6 months later, I was getting knocks at the door from old customers wanting to, can I help them out with this, can I help them out with that? And I ended up getting sucked straight back into the warehousing fulfillment operation. But I swore, and this conscious decision then not to grow the business to what it was up to 2007, 2008, 2009, because I had maybe 30 staff working for me then. Warehouse was almost 14,000 square feet. We had all the bells, all the whistles. So I wanted something that was controllable and small. So we've got a 5,000 square foot warehouse now. Funny enough, our margins have increased, while compared to my last business with revenue halving. So to me, I'm doing things a little bit, be smarter, better, and you'll learn from as life goes on. You'll learn through business. So we do fairly well now as a business, continuing to grow. We've maybe added some aspects of what we do to our business, but all in all, it's going in the right direction.
Amazing, incredible. Yeah. And Royal Mail had a school, and you've seen
Royal Mail, biggest educational sort of platform I had, without a doubt. You could learn all you do in school, and I went to College of Biz after I left school for a couple of years before I went to work in the civil service. So, but Royal Mail were never shy throwing money at staff to train them and educate them. Yeah, they paid for. I went back to college to do some marketing exams when I was in Royal Mail in 1989. They paid for my college, so it was all good. So no regrets, and a great platform for anybody to be in.
Incredible. You mentioned the post men and post women. Like everyone, we all have them, but it comes to the door, and there was a post, you know them. And rain,
hail or snow, great guys.
And underappreciated.
Yeah. And it's a great job. It's actually quite a good job. Yeah, it's a nice, clean efficient job.
Yeah.
And if somebody just wants to have a job, perfect. But unfortunately for Royal Mail, I had other aspirations of where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do in my life, and that was it really.
Amazing. So just to explain what you do now and the services that you offer. So what do you work?
DM Services, who we are now, we've sort of several strings to our bow on what we do. We are a mailing company, like previously that I was, and we look after people's direct mail, whether it's magazine poly-wrapping, whether it's personalising letters and putting them inside envelopes, addressing postcards and magazines through inkjet and facility. We do all that, and that's all remains. That was the core of what the business was. It's evolved. As we know, mail has dramatically decreased with social media, with email and online. But it in itself has brought up other opportunities. And in the other opportunities that we do, we have a leaflet distribution network, which basically we do leaflet distribution around the province. We focus heavily on the Belfast and Greater Belfast area. We have a network of about 320,000 homes in our catchment. We deliver to about 60 to 80,000 of those homes each week. We've got most of our delivery agents are employed. Some of them like to be self-employed, some of them want to be subcontractors. That suits us. We're quite sticky in how we deliver. The market can have a bit of a ambiguous reputation. We're very focused on, we will only carry a maximum of 3 leaflets. They're not allowed to be competing. They're not allowed to be inserted inside each other. They must all be on top of each other and must be fully inserted through a letterbox, not left hanging out or left on a gate or a hedge or a doorstep. Everything has to be quite precise on how we do it. Every home, it has to be delivered. We have the whole province mapped out with very sort of up-to-date mapping. Our guys would go out with and we will deliver up to 1,750 homes a day, depending on the urban rural build up of the area they're delivering. And so that's a really up and going and continues to grow, and it's in this day of the World Wide Web, people still like something tangible in their hand. And through fast food, estate agents, hairdressers, barbers, people selling Botox, you wouldn't believe the amount of different people that want to send their leaflets out. And then we're doing a lot of that with the councils now, with Armagh, Banbridge, Craigavon Council, Belfast City Council through the zoo, Newry and Mourne Council. So we've got quite a few with those public sector areas that we're still dealing with that. So there's that aspect of the business. Then we have straightforward warehousing. We've got the facility to warehouse up to sort of 300 pallets of stock. So people come in, maybe whether it's 1 pallet they want to store with us, whether it's 100 pallets, we will hold their stock for them and manage it for them. So they can draw down on it when they want. We'll do their stock take and whatever else. And on the back of that, then we have our internet fulfillment side of things, where we will hold people's stock. We will go into the back of their website every day. We will download their orders. We will become their pick and pack fulfillment operation. We have the CCTV monitoring the building inside and out. We have the security. We have the alarm system linked up to the police. We have the insurance to cover your product. We have the warehouse man, we have the forklift, we have the racking, we have all the areas that you have without the hassle of having to go and take leases and employ people and take contracts out. So we offer that service, and it's part of our growing services, and more something we want to grow over the next 12 months. And then following on from that, we obviously generate a lot of parcels through this warehousing pick and pack. We offer a parcel consolidation service where people who are maybe sending out half a dozen parcels a day can only dictate a certain cost from a carrier. Because we consolidate a lot of parcels together, we get better costs from these carriers. So we pass some of that cost back on to these smaller customers. So whether it's you're walking in off the street into our caller's office and sending 1 parcel to a relative in London or Australia or Republic of Ireland in Dublin or Cork, or whether you have 20 parcels a day that need to go across Great Britain, we can actually do that for you. We can go and pick up from your premises, you can book a collection from us, or you can just call into our office. And so we've sort of evolved the streams of what we do, and I think from a business point of view, my idea was to create generation of streams of revenue into the same pot, to help with the peaks and troughs of certain parts of what we do. And so far it's working. I'd like to evolve some of the streams a wee bit more than others, but yeah, that's it.
Oh, amazing. And direct mail, who'd have thought? You know, I'm sure I'm watching this, I'm thinking, no, it's gone.
Direct mail is becoming, actually, and we're getting quite a few inquiries, it's becoming a little bit quirky and of a novelty now. People are actually seeing it as going, we're so bombarded with social media, Facebook, Instagram, they come to our websites. There's so much now getting bombarded at people that people are actually going, do you know what, if something comes through the post, I'm going to open this. I wonder what this is. And we can help with that by doing things with the envelope, by creating a message for the envelope, provoking interest to open, or simply being, some people like a blank envelope. Who doesn't open a blank envelope? Or something that the message comes right across. Postcards are becoming very popular. Whether it's little A6 size postcards, A5 postcards, where people are trying to get their message across instantly. And one of the biggest drivers to websites over the last sort of 5 to 10 years has been direct marketing and direct mail, whether it has been online, off page, or on page. A big player in that is actually getting something tangible to drive you to a website for a purchase. And we know I don't know about you, your Facebook now, sometimes you just pass by so many things. And it's a bit like where junk mail would have came in, or as we used to call it, untargeted mail, that would have came in through the door. People would have went flick, 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 bin. Oh, I'll keep that. And that, all that has done is moved online to your phone, to your iPad, to your computer. It's flick, 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 flick. Junk, junk, junk. Well, it's just like mail was in the past, but now people are actually seeing it as mail is becoming a little bit quirky. Yeah. One of my customers is actually developing a database of their regular clients, and their plan is to start sending a little monthly mailer out to them, addressed to them with a specific offer. So you can see how that works. It's taking it offline. They still do their online marketing through Instagram, Facebook, and whatever else, but this is just a little driver to it as well. So I think people in the industry now are getting a wee bit switched on and going, let's go the online route and the offline route. And difference nowadays is, years ago people would have did mailings of 50, 60,000. Well, what people are doing now, they're doing smaller mailings of maybe 3, 4, 5,000, targeting them a lot better, finding out who their target market is, and then being more frequency in communicating with them. And I think that's the difference in where direct mail has came now, but it's still going to continue to decrease, and but where the increase is going to be is the fulfillment end. We're creating tangible items. At the end of the day, until they get to the stage where you're ordering something online and your 3D printer's printing it in the corner of the room, that's still going to, people are going to need to send stuff through a carrier or whatever, parcels, packets, whatever, and that's where we come in.
Incredible. I know we've used your service actually. You probably don't know. So
no, really?
We sent something to Germany. So
did you? There you go. Hopefully it worked well.
That was brilliant. Yeah. And cheaper.
Yeah. Oh well, we do sort of. We like to think we're cost effective, and we normally come in sort of anywhere between sort of 15, 20, 30% cheaper than Royal Mail, and we sort of pride ourselves in trying to give our customers some value for the money that they're spending.
No, it was brilliant, yeah. So thanks for that.
Thank you very much.
No worries. And how have you grown your business then? How have you've identified a couple of different niches, and I
think we've evolved where we are. I mean, we started off as a mailing house and some fulfillment, and then we've evolved into this internet fulfillment, warehouse storage, the pick and pack, the parcel consolidator, and we're continuing to evolve. And our latest sort of little bit of evolution is we've now built up a network where we can access weekly, bi-weekly, monthly We're hitting all 64 hotels around Belfast City and the Greater Belfast area. There's something like 258 bars, restaurants, cafes that we can deliver to. All the main transport hubs, from boat to train to bus to taxi, through to the tourism hubs and Welcome Belfast, and all the different little tourism sort of points of information. So we're now involved in this product that allows us to help merchandise into each one of these sites. So potentially we've almost 450 sites that we can actually, whether it's a theatre that want to put their leaflets for a show in the hotels, the cafes, the bars or restaurants, whether it's a council that wants to let them know about a tourist programme for the summer, the spring, the autumn, right down to whether the hotels, they want to put their pizza menu in a hotel so they can just order a pizza in. So we're getting a lot of interest with this, and it's got some legs that I think it's going to run with, and we'll continue to grow that and just add it into what we already do. And I suppose it's not a new stream, it's just an evolution, a slight hybrid of our delivery service that we have. And then on the back of that, because we handle a lot of parcels, we do get parcels coming in, and they are being Belfast to Belfast parcels. We're looking at that now and going, well, do you know what? We're out merchandising those half a dozen, those 10 parcels. We'll deliver them at the same time. So we're increasing our margins, and that's what it's all about, really. I think somebody used to say that revenue is vanity and profit sanity. I think we are now looking at going, it's just, let's see how we want our good margins from the least right to revenue. Let's see what we can get and grow it from that base, as opposed to let's chase revenue, and then we'll worry about the profits afterwards. And it's a dangerous game to play sometimes.
It's very tough, and you're right, so many people don't do that.
Yeah.
But very impressed. You seem to be very strategic and spot opportunities that maybe never think of.
Yeah, you sort of, I think I've got not say a sixth sense or an antenna, but I do always look to spot something that you can, that it links into what we do. And I've many ideas over the year that have never made it to the table. But you've sort of thought it out, and the time you thought it out, you've looked and you find, do you know what, it's not going to work. And we had thought of little parcel hubs in different parts of the city where people could walk in and do their drop their parcels off or send some mail, because post offices are closing. But our barrier to that is business renting rates. If you could get little kiosks, you could have perfect, but our business renting rates in this country are fairly high, and especially if you hit the centre of Belfast, and it's a barrier to a lot of stuff like that. So we had looked at, do we develop our own product that we can sell and do our own internet fulfilment? I'm not too sure how that would be seen by our clients, as I know Amazon do that. The minute that something sells really well, they'll produce it themselves. I'm not too sure if that's how we want to have a relationship with our clients. So again, there's different things along the way. Yes, so always on the lookout for a little bit of something different to what we can actually do. And and I think that's just something that's built in me, and it'll always be there, whether it's in this world, in this environment that I'm operating in, or in the future if I ever move on and where I move on to. Ultimately, I'm a salesman by trade. I like to think of an entrepreneurial stream within me that develops things. I feel I have the experience and the expertise to start something from the bottom and build it up. And I think with experience you get to know where the plateau is, where to take it to the next level, and where you top out. And knowing if you're going to top out, or dynamics in a market change, and knowing when to move. So I like to think I've built that sort of experience up over the years.
Amazing, and the market is changing every day now. It's incredible.
The speed of the market is changing, and that's driven massively by your Facebook, your Instagram, your online, by the likes of the website developments, and how That's sort of done now, and even that's our websites. It's not so much more as build a website and they'll come. So many people have done that. We've had clients come to us with, we've held their product for them. We're going to do 2,000 orders a month. And I'm going, right, okay, how are you doing this? And you get these, have you done any search engine optimization? Have you done any marketing offline? Have you done any marketing online? No, we've got this really good website. And I'm going, gone are the day where you just build it and people come. There's so much competition out there. You need to look at how you're driving people to that website. How you're having websites that are visible and manageable on a phone. I mean, personally, the amount of stuff I've bought online on a phone. Unfortunately, bought one or two things when you're sitting in a bar having a few drinks and you're going, why did I buy that? But anyway, it was a great idea at the time. But it is a case of yes, there's stuff out there and there's lots of opportunities out there, but it's just it's who's grabbing what.
Yeah, it's amazing then to take action as well and to try these things because there's so many opportunities.
There's so many opportunities, but it is a case of I think you're either going to try one opportunity and you're the personality, it is maybe minimal risk and let's run with this and let's dot every I, cross every T and grow very slow organically, and it could fly all of a sudden. Or I'll probably be a little bit more of a risk taker and I'll look at opportunities and I'll go, right, let's build a strategy around this, right, let's run with it, let's see where we go. Don't get me wrong, we'll assess it after a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and we'll see how things develop. And I think you have to be brave enough sometimes just to cut something off when it's not working, and knowing not to just continually feed something it's not good. It's eating money, or it's eating expertise, or it's eating time, or eating energies. You gotta really look and go. Sometimes they're difficult decisions to make.
Brutally hard decisions.
And sometimes that can involve staff and the impact of having staff. And I'm always conscious if you have staff and the behind the scenes and staff, there's mortgages, there's families, there's parents, there's wives, so you're always thinking, and it's trying to making sure that you do things in the right way.
Yeah, no, always. Yeah. Amazing. So sage advice as ever. So what are some of your biggest achievements then in the business?
I think my biggest achievements probably, getting through the Royal Mail programme and jumping at every opportunity there. It gave me the experience, and I suppose I had the dynamic, but it gave me the platform to jump and do whatever I did. Well, it was naive, a little bit green, but starting a business with no experience of running a business from day one, ground zero, signing a lease on our premises, buying equipment and having no customers, and taking that to a business that was generating 1.8 million after 3 years, and was making profits of around about £120,000 at the time. That was a big satisfaction and achievement to do that. And then doing it again after I sold my business, starting off as a consultant, looking to, right, let's just keep things, do what I do what my hedgehog, for want of a better, do what a hedgehog is great at doing, rolling up into a ball, protecting itself. And I suppose then all of a sudden getting sucked back in again and then making the decision to go, let's go again, but I don't want to be employing 20 or 30 people. Doing it in a controlled method that I've done it now, and have this little smaller business, but doing it a lot more efficiently, a lot better now, learning all the bits and pieces that you did or didn't do in the previous company and doing it right in this company. And so that, and I suppose biggest achievement was having 3 fantastic daughters as well, not to miss out on those, and I'm proud of what they have done. So my achievements from a business point of view, building up the businesses. From a personal point of view, it's got to be my kids and how that is, they've sort of, I'm proud of them, of what they're becoming and what they're doing.
Amazing, incredible. And you faced, I guess, especially your industry, there's a lot of challenges with what's happening online and the internet. Every business has seen it. We've seen even the sad news of Boots maybe.
I think from a personal point of view, and I'm no expert on the high street, no expert on PLCs, but I feel there was quite a few businesses out there that just didn't seem to get. They thought maybe they were too big, that it's never going to affect them, and they'll always be bigger than this. But as you know, the monster that has become online, the monster that has affected so many businesses, from Toys R Us. Where were they? They're a distant memory now, to Mothercare. And I remember having a conversation one time. I'd left Royal Mail and went back to Royal Mail on a site visit when they opened up the new place up in Mollusk. And I was talking to the MD at the time, a guy called Michael Kennedy. And I was saying to him, do you not think that there's an opportunity here that mail is going to continue to decline, and rather than become this mail provider, that you should, when these licenses are issued, that you'll just become the licensed service provider. Let all these mailing that have licenses carry all the mail, bring it to you, and you do what you do best, which is process it and deliver it. And as mail falls away, with the advent of growing online, parcels will grow. And he said to me, no, we'll always do this, because this is what we do. This is mailing will always be there. And if you look back, and I've thought of that conversation since, there's maybe 15, 20, 25 licensed providers that are doing just that. They're gathering all the mail up, doing all the sales, and then handing all over for the final mile to Royal Mail. Mail has continued to drop and parcels have continued to rise. I'm not saying I was super intelligent to see, but it was just something I thought and seen. So yeah, the high street has been decimated and will continue to be, I think, until a lot of companies learn that they have to evolve dramatically with the fast moving business that is online. What doesn't help is government need to move as well, because business rates is horrendous in the cities. And I mean, even the threshold, I mean, there should be a threshold for small businesses that they can earn so much profits before they have to pay tax. And where it is now is not adequate. I mean, if they want small business to reinvest in their business, to grow them, I mean, I think it should be, personally, I think it should be 100,000 rent-free or tax-free. And then after that, I would encourage people to reinvest in their businesses, to grow to the next level. And yes, when they start paying taxes after that, maybe the tax percentage is a bit higher. But I think that, personally, I think that's what people should do. And it would help people in the high street. It would help maintain the high street, small businesses who should themselves be educated in the online. There should be some sort of government strategy to help these people get online, help them get on where they're selling through their high street outlet, and we can enjoy our Saturday afternoons and weekends waltzing around, enjoying around the shops, whether it's clothes, whether it's shoes, vitamins, whatever you're buying, that, you know, on the back end of that, you're also selling online. And I think if government came up with some sort of strategy to help these people develop that, and also help them with business rates and let them earn a wee bit more before they need to pay tax, that's where I see things could change dramatically for our high streets and these small businesses, because there are too many small businesses that are opening up and they don't realise, and they're just getting gobbled up. When big high street companies like British Home Stores and, as I said, Mothercare, Toys R Us, Boots, the way they're just announced this morning they're going to close so many stores. You look at the banks are disappearing even because of online. This is all, and a lot of this wasn't seen. It's nearly that they're reacting to losing business, profits diving. There's very few companies out there who have been proactive and went, let's move this before it moves us.
And they're the ones that are
They're
like
just-
that,
yeah.
the $1 billion guys.
That's what it is. Yeah,
So
yeah.
amazing. And again, we're probably only the start of this journey. Like, there's so much more. We're standing here looking back and thinking, wow, but there's so much more happening.
I think if you view in the last 10 years, the way things have moved in the last 10 years is massively. I suppose you could nearly equate it to the way TVs were 20 years ago. You get up out of your seat to turn the TV over. Then it became a remote control. Now it's, You could be watching a TV on your phone, walk into your house, and then just flick it straight onto the screen in your house.
Yeah.
It is, the technology has gone so far now where you can actually watch TV on your phone and stuff. But I mean, my kids wouldn't even realise that you didn't have a remote control and everything. But and that's only like in 20 years. Same as cars. You look at the evolution of cars, and I think this online stuff and the stuff in the World Wide Web and the sky, whatever you want to call it, it's running at a faster pace than any of that previous technology. And you only look at the evolution of phones now, and Apple are no longer the biggest selling phone now, and it's, who would have thought that 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think think of Apple. It's probably in the iPhone's probably 11 years. Probably around 11 years. I'm guessing. We'll have to Google, but I think it's around 11 years old.
Yeah.
So like, what's happened in phones? Like it's 11, 12 years.
I remember having a little brick, the Nokia. Good thing about them, you got about 2 days out of charge. but I still have a few old Nokias kicking around the office. I've kept them. Yeah, 6230 or something like that. But then, so yeah, it's I think it's going to continue. Sometimes you could stir yourself crazy by sitting going, well, where does it end? Or how does it end? Does it end? So yeah. But I think I will probably be out of the rat race before I start up to worry about that too much. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. And you still see a high demand then for print marketing?
Print, well, the demand for print will always be there when people want something tangible. And no matter what, people always still like to have something tangible in their hand. They like to flick through, whether it's a brochure, a magazine. I know papers have dramatically died off and their circulations are fast reduced, but people still have an instinct to lift something and flick through it. Print, where the evolution of print goes is probably beyond me, in that I'm not a print expert. We do a lot of print, and we broker print for our clients that don't want the hassle of having to deal with printers and whatever else. Print in this day and age is extremely cheap, and it can be bought very, very cheaply, and then that feeds in to our delivery network, the direct mail side of things. So I think the demand for print will always be there. It'll probably start to evolve into something else. I know a lot of printers now that were traditionally litho printers, which was large run prints, have all merged into digital printers, small run printers. A bit like what I said about direct mail. Gone are the days where you're doing big, large swathes of direct mail. People are becoming more targeted and doing smaller mailings, so they're getting more small print runs, stuff that they can change the offer next week or change it this week. But if I do 20,000, I can't change it for a month. So they're doing smaller runs right through to people are looking like banners, A boards. Printers are all doing those type of things now. A lot of them would have traditionally not done that, so they're doing sort of wide format printing and stuff. So that industry is changing. I'm saying no expert in the industry. There's a lot of printers have disappeared over the last 5 or 10 years. A few sort of big well-known names. Going back 10 years ago, Graham and Hislop, which was flipping huge in the north of Ireland, through to Nicholson Bass is now gone, who would have traditionally been a high-end printer. So there's lots of small company businesses have all went as well. So which is sad, but that's just the evolving market. And again, if people don't move with the dynamic of society, you can get gobbled up very easy.
Amazing. And what's your thoughts then on the more traditional businesses and using social media? Is that
if you don't use it, you can get left behind. Suppose that some industries and some of the things, that elements of what we do, doesn't really fit with social media. And the last thing people want me to be sending them social media messages about, will warehouse your stock for you, or will hold pallets for you. It's probably not where you want to be marketing yourself. But small businesses, they really need to grasp the social media aspect and there's people out there who are making themselves very, very rich on being social media experts. And you only need to look around some of these guys who've made themselves millionaires out of being social media experts, and from doing blogging to what I think personally are very good, where people are creating these little 15, 20, 30 second videos, putting it on their business. and sticking it on social media, Instagram, and it works really well and it does catch people's attention. And as long as it's not too long-winded, as long as it is that 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds max, it will catch people's attention. And I think the more businesses do it, and again, it's getting the traditional businesses and trying to educate them. And again, that's why I think, whether it's Invest NI, whether it's local councils, local government, you should be coming along and incentivising people to do that. Because if people are under pressure going, our market's becoming more difficult, some people don't have the foresight to say, well, the best thing for me to do is to do new creative marketing that may cost me X amount of money, when they're going, well, we really need to consolidate. But if there's something, grants there, something there, some support there, or whether the support is just resource to help them do that, that's got to come from government and councils and Invest NI and places like that. And unfortunately, decisions like that are probably going to get made anytime soon, the way the political environment is. But that's another story. But so, yeah, I think there's a lot of ground for businesses to embrace into social media, and rather than fight it, push it away, it is a case of embrace it and see how it could fit into the business.
Amazing, excellent. And obviously we're talking about a lot of traditional businesses. There's still a lot of traditional businesses that aren't fully engaged online. You think you see more and more companies moving online?
Yeah, more and more companies I see moving online, and I guarantee if you sort of take 10 companies and you take 10 small businesses around Belfast, and you check, have they got websites? Have they got an online shop? And I would say that 4 to 5 of them will have an online shop. And like a lot of hardware stores now have all got their little online shops. They're their own little fulfillment operation, because everything's in pigeonholes all around their hardware store. So all they're doing is internet fulfillment, which is brilliant. There's some really innovative people out there that are creating new little businesses on the back of, they're just social media businesses. I know a guy who set up a sweets and treats, and all he does is sell sweets and treats, whether it's milkshakes, whether it's pick and mix, whether it's crisps or whatever. You can go online to his app, to his website, order 2 o'clock in the morning, I want to order 2 milkshakes and a whole lot of sweets, because I've just come in after being a night out, and Just Eat or Deliveroo will deliver them within 40 minutes to you. Wow. So there's lots of dynamic people out there doing that, and some of these people should be embraced and should be encouraged to maybe their expertise through Invest NI, through councils, through someone say, listen, you're really dynamic, you're an inspirator. Why not try to help some of these traditional businesses who are maybe are lost, or they're swimming about in an ever decreasing pool, that one of these days is going to try help them. Yeah.
Incredible. And going a segue off, is data management then, is that important then?
Well, data management's massively important now, and getting and how things are held, and where they're held, and also how they're even how they're managed. And I mean, we've seen recently one of the phone providers was Talk or something like 200, 300,000 names were just sitting online for people to dive into. How many people have lost and have been tapped into and hacked into, and how their databases. And I think how they're stored and how they're kept is really, really important. How you manage and how long you can hold on to a potential customer. It's all really important. I know our strategy is that we will hold data for our clients, because we don't really hold a lot of data except for our own clients' information that we have permission to hold. Data that we hold, we don't buy in data anymore for people, because a lot of that data is regurgitated so many times, it's not worth the money that some people are charging for it. But people have their own data. When they use us, we take their data, we manage it, usually sort it to get discounts of postage and parcels and stuff that we can help them achieve efficient sort of process of getting their data processed and their mail out the door. But we would hold that data with their permission for about 1 month, unless some companies say, we don't want you to hold it at all, as soon as the job's done, delete it. Our strategy for holding it for 1 month is, in case there's any inquiries about data relating to the mailing or what we've just done for them, we have something to reference. But after 1 month, we deleted it off our system, and it's deleted off our server, deleted off our jobs network, and so we don't hold on to data unless, and the odd client would say, could you hold on to it and manage our changes? Yes, but sign this permission slip. So that data is becoming, and I think it's going to be an even hotter priority now, because I know that people are getting their banks hacked into, and people are getting money stolen off them and tricked into money, and that is just going, where it goes and how it's protected is probably slightly beyond my technology in my head and how I can imagine. But I know there's these wonderful places in the sky somewhere that are holding stuff, but ultimately this stuff is coming down to earth somewhere, so it's where it lands is the weak point. And as long as it's up there, it's maybe not as weak, but it lands somewhere, that's a danger. So I'm sure there's very many smart people out there working out how they're going to run a business that could help people manage their data and make a business out of it themselves. But yeah.
Amazing, excellent. And what's next for DM Services?
Well, continue to grow, continue to try and evolve what we're doing, evolve it in a structured way, maintaining how we provide our services to our clients, efficient, effective, dynamic, adding value, because I think adding value to any customer is one of the best investments you could ever make with your customer, and making sure from a personal point of view that we have the profits and maintain our profits to keep us growing. We'll sit back in 12 months time and have a wee think about where we are, what the next stage is now. But I've got my target set for this year to grow our internet fulfillment customer base, our warehouse customer base, grow on our parcels and the amount of parcels, which is linked in to the previous two, and also then the hospitality and tourism opportunity we have in front of us now, and that will itself again link into our door-to-door leaflet distribution. We hold the contract for the distribution of the BT phone books for the whole of Northern Ireland, which is a nice piece of business for us, and that in itself brings other opportunities. Because when you're doing business for BT and they're satisfied and they've told us that they've had their most successful, efficient, accurate delivery over the last 3 years than they've ever had in Northern Ireland, north of Ireland, whatever way you want to call it, we are proud that we've been able to deliver that, and they are very happy with us. So yeah, let's look in 12 months time and see where we are. We hit our targets for this year, I'll be more than happy. Then we can assess next year and say, do we go again, or what do we do? So I think that's where I am as a from a business point of view. From a personal point of view, it's stay healthy, stay happy, and enjoy the ride as we go along. I think in this day and age, there's a lot of guys out there who are working very hard and doing a great job, but get themselves extremely stressed, put themselves in emotionally weak positions, and I think that they don't invest in time with themselves, which is something that I am personally very passionate about. Now, having sort of had some family members that unfortunately aren't with us anymore, but stress to me is it's a killer, and how business people now manage their stress. I personally have somebody that I turn to and meet once a week up with, have it, whether it's just a coffee or whether it's sitting and discuss the pressures, whether it's doing some meditation, doing some just chill out time away from the business. And I think you need to invest that. There should be a minimum of an hour a day for that, and even just looking after, in this day and age, what you eat and what you put into your body. I'm a big believer in, you put the right fuel in, you get the right energy out. If you put the wrong food in, if you're putting red diesel in your BMW, it's not going to drive as well. But if you put some nice, good, clean fuel in that BMW will drive you all around the place, all around the world. And I'm a great believer in whether it's trying to stay fit, trying to eat healthy, trying to live healthy, and trying to maintain your stress levels. And you get to a stage where, don't get me wrong, you run about where you're stressed, and seeing how you come down off that stress, whether it's playing golf, whether it's having a coffee with somebody, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's just being with family. And I think whatever it is, people should do it. And I know you go back to Steve Jobs, I mean, the man himself, who did nothing but worked himself, if you want to say, he worked himself ill and worked himself to death. And his biggest regrets are that he never spent any time with his family, some of his family may never really have known him and who he was. And I think that's in itself sad. And I know I was at a very high level in a very, very large company, but you take that right down and scale that right down, spending time looking after you, because what is your business without you? If you're sick, if you're ill, if you can't work, if you're a businessman, nobody's going to come in and do it. If you're working for yourself, who's going to come in and do it and pick up the pieces? Yes, you can build all the processes, but ultimately you'll probably find that you're the driver of your business, and it's making sure that you're driving on the right fuel and the right oil. So that's really an analogy that I tend to use talking to people, but I am passionate about health and exercise and having a proper life.
Excellent. Thank you very much for again all the advice and chatting about what's happening online and offline today.
Yeah. Okay.
So if anyone wants to find out more about your services that you offer, or reach out and connect with you, what's the best, or where's the best place?
Well, if you just Google my name, my telephone number comes up for some weird reason. Desy Gault. You can go to our website at dm-services.org. Our office can be called. It's on that website. You can call our office to speak to us there. Yeah, that's probably the easiest ways to get a hold of me. Desy Gault on social media. Send me a PM. There's no problem there. And connect through that way. I'd love to be able to help businesses evolve. I'd love to be able to help some small internet businesses who are starting to outgrow what they're doing. No, their garage is no longer any good. Their spare room's no longer any good. Let us come along. Let us help. Let us be your internet hub. We'll do all the fulfillment. Allow you to focus on the marketing and driving your business forward. And let us do all the hard work, the grind behind the scenes.
Excellent. So again, thank you very much again.
No worries. Thank you for having me along, Kieran, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
It was brilliant. And thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our chat today with Desy and learning all about DM services and actually print and direct mail. It's still live, and if you are an online business, if you are shipping products, definitely do visit DM Services and check out their prices and services. As I say, we've used them and it was first class, so we definitely recommend that. Beneath the video there's a link, and you can go straight through to the website. Hopefully you enjoyed today's conversation. My name is Kieran from Profile 3. We're the content marketing agency here in Belfast, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.